on digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Donut Bag presented by The Sportscast.
The Donut Bag, hosted by Joey Bag of Donuts. And here's your host, Joey Bag of Donuts.
Ho, you're wearing a bag. Is that a real bag or is that a virtual bag?
Well, you know what?
It sounds like a real bag.
You know what? It's a real bag. This is a real bag. And honestly, that performance deserved the real bag.
Fire them all. That is significant.
Because honestly, it isn't. I know everyone's saying Fire Tomlin, which it's one thing to say. Yeah, I mean, I as much as Tomlin haters go off on him when one little thing happens, that was, I don't want to say the team gave up, but they look completely lost out there. And no adjustments, nothing going on. And it's been like this for a couple years. Aaron Rodgers got hurt. And we're like, okay, we're going to put Mason Rudolph in because, and he goes in, throws a bad ball, and throws another bad ball for an interception. And, when I go and post on Twitter, what about Will Howard? Let's be honest. Outside the second half of that one game, the Cincinnati game, Mason has been hideous. So right now, the way the quarterbacks are playing, there better be like a full-blown new everyone next year.
So let's talk about the quarterbacks. Let's start there. Aaron Rodgers broke, now we know, 3 bones in the wrist of his non-throwing hand.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't play last week, and Mason was in, and he kind of sucked. So Rodgers was remember, no injury designation, good to go, full participant. And then he goes out there and the dude can't even hand off the freaking ball, but we still have him in there.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, they throw Mason in there again because Rodgers got absolutely rocked. He came back, and Rodgers got the cut on his nose. It looked like he got
the cut on his nose, honestly, because when you look at it when he went down, he as heavy bandaged as his arm was. For our wrestling fans, Iron Mike Sharp from the 1980s,
right?
Wrapped. When he went down on his wrist. The broken one, even though it's in the cast, that's painful. But he couldn't protect himself going down, so he basically went face first.
Yeah.
So he kind of went face first, boink, and
Right.
that's why he was cut.
Yeah. By the way, welcome to the Donut Bag Podcast, part of the Sportscast Network. If you would love to join in on this conversation, this is just a vent session. I've just been angry. Well, I've been angry for a while, but I've just been so fed up for the past 24 hours. But yeah, so you have your choices are Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, ever since the Chargers game, which was 4 games ago, he has looked bad when he is in there. He is not looking good at all.
Well, ever since he was tackled by Broderick Jones.
Friendly fire.
It might have been for all
maybe Seriously. You have a 350-pound man jump on you, and let's see how you feel. Yeah, could be. Could have been that. So your choices are Aaron Rodgers, who is God, like 50%. I mean, he can't even hand off the ball. It's just really bad. Mason, who apparently sucks. You know what? Why not throw Will Howard? Now the fear is that Will Howard will look like, one of these like the Minnesota rookies or something like that just don't know how to play football. But still,
well, I'll put it this way.
First, right now.
Well, first of all, Tomlin will never do that. But second of all, he could literally point to say, we're tied with the Ravens for first place.
Yep.
If the Steelers and the Ravens looked bad against Cincinnati, it's one thing to lose against Buffalo, who they haven't been playing great, but they're still considered a top-tier team. You get beat by Cincinnati at home, if the Steelers, and it sounds ridiculous, if they win next week, they're a game up and a game up.
The sky is falling, and yet we're one game away from winning the division.
Yes,
so it's crazy.
And the Steelers have the easier schedule compared to the Ravens, because the Steelers have Miami and Cleveland.
And the Lions, they have Miami.
Well, the Lions would be. I think the Lions is a loss.
Well, I mean, right now, I don't think they could beat.
Well, okay,
you,
right
me,
now,
and 9 people we come up with. I mean, they can't beat anybody right now.
No. But honestly, if you look at the scores from this past week, I mean, other than Tennessee getting blown out. And Cleveland, I think, got blown. Other than that, who the hell knows?
Who the hell knows? I just looked at the Ravens' schedule. Okay, home to the Steelers this week, at the Bengals, home to the Patriots, at Green Bay, and then at Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's a harder schedule.
Yeah. There's a legitimate chance of the Steelers somehow at maybe 8-9. At 8-9,
Seriously.
winning the division and hosting a playoff game and getting destroyed in the playoff game by the Bills, probably. Or
the Bills will be 11-6, and they have to play, and that will be at 8-9 Pittsburgh. Yeah. It's just unbelievable.
But I mean, when you hear the player saying, "Oh, there's no excuse for what happened," and this. Honestly, admittedly, the leading at halftime was kind of fluky. That was the defense playing takeaway. Because other than the defense playing takeaway, they would have been down at halftime. But still, you're keeping it close, and then all of a sudden, you get punched in the mouth twice, pretty much. You get the fumble for TD, you get the interception, and the defense lets them run down. But even at that point, you're not out of it.
Right.
Admittedly, you're shell-shocked, you're a little out of it, you're whatever. But score-wise, we have a veteran defense. We have a Hall of Fame quarterback. There should be veteran leadership out the wazoo here, who are the calming, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going forward. We're doing, and you got feeling like, Cam Hayward got a unsport. Did he get the unsportsman, or he was close to getting unsportsman?
He was close to. He basically wanted to fight Josh Allen because he said Josh Allen need him or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, that works in hockey, not football.
Right.
Okay, that works in hockey against the Flyers.
who the Penguins are beating right now. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the third quarter, it was 16-7. You're down 2 scores. It's very manageable, and
Mhm.
yet it felt hopeless.
You're not even 2 scores, but not only that, not even 2 touchdowns.
Right. Right.
You know,
A touchdown and a field goal.
a
You'd
touchdown, a
be
field goal
ahead.
in your head, but like you said, you never, even when they were ahead at halftime, you were like, how? They are
Right.
lucky to be ahead. They've had one good drive in the first half. They had one good drive in the entire game. Well, 2 really, but 4th and 2, and you do that draw handoff, and I mean, Aaron Rodgers said later, "Well, I thought it was going to be." The minute he handed off and he kind of did the kind of walk backward and he kind of looked at like, "Yeah, I had no chance in hell of working."
Yeah.
He may say whatever. The body language is, "Why would we do that?"
Yeah.
But like I said, they were getting punished by the both offensive defensive line were just getting dominated.
It was pathetic. It was pathetic. I believe it was the most rushing yards given up in Pittsburgh in like 50 years or something like that.
Yeah, in the new stadium at least. So yeah.
Unbelievable. And it happened at home, and I was predicting this was going to happen at some point. I said, if it ever gets ugly, it's going to get ugly in the stadium. And boy, did it get ugly. Very loud Fire Tomlin chants.
Yeah.
I believe this is the first time we've heard, these chants.
Significant. I would say significant Fire Tomlin chants.
Let's go back in recent history. I believe the first one was the Penguins GM Ron Hextall when people started chanting "Fire Hextall," and it got very loud and very often. Then it became Matt Canada, Fire Canada, and I knew at some point, because Fire Tomlin, it just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. People are fed up. People are just fed up. I mean, and that's been the topic all day long. The national people's like, how can you say Fire Tomlin? How can you? He would get a job immediately. Well, then go.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I'm starting to see national media saying it's time for Tomlin and the Steelers to part ways. I saw them in Sports Illustrated. So I think
they're finally getting it, because before the narrative was he's never had a losing season. Yeah, we know. I mean, listen, would the New York Giants or the Cleveland Browns love to go 9-8 every year? Yeah, sure. It's better than 3-14, but at what cost? Yeah. 9-8, get blown out in the first round of the playoffs, even if you barely make the playoffs. Yay!
And hope
nowhere. Yay!
And hope that where's the hope that something's changing? Like and we know that the Steelers have the most expensive defense right now.
Yep.
And okay, people were injured. People get it. It's later in the year. Teams have injuries left and right. The Bills had 2 backup offensive tackles.
Right.
Okay. They were running the ball like crazy.
Right. Yeah. Why is it? I mean, one of the reasons why the Steelers' run defense looked so bad was because Harmon was hurt. But it's like, why is it when we get an injury, the other team takes advantage of it greatly? When the other team has an injury, as soon as they say such and such team is missing their starting tackle, like, oh great, that means TJ Watt isn't going to do a damn thing. TJ Watt, I figured that we would hate the contract like in a year or two. I didn't think we would hate the contract year one.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, and I understand. He's going to get double teamed. He's going to get chipped. Okay. So if that really is the case, which, if you're double teaming one person, that means you should have open on the other side.
Right. What about everybody else? Yeah.
In the middle, a linebacker, something. I mean, is the defense that predictable that, TJ's thought, so we can't do anything? Because they had that after the Chargers, they had a good stretch of decent defensive football.
Right.
The Mason game was lost not because of the defense, because of Mason, the game he started last week. They should have beat the Chargers if the offense was competent, not good, competent.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers basically single-handedly lost the Chargers game. Mason basically lost the Bears game.
Mm-hmm. The Bears game, yeah.
It's just one thing every week. It's one thing that just falls apart, and I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know. I mean,
what it's been 8 years since a playoff win.
Yeah.
Look, bad things have happened during that time. Yes, weird things have happened, weird injuries, but still, the one consistent has been Tomlin, and it like we've said in the past, it isn't that I don't think it's necessarily he's a bad coach, but after a while, this is true with even outside of sports. If you have the same manager doing the same thing at your company for 2 decades, given how much things change over years, unless your manager is someone who is, now we're switching to e-commerce, now we're switching to this, and I'm willing to switch with it, and I'm out in front. That's not Tomlin. Tomlin's not the league's completely different from what it was in 2008, and I'm a different type of coach because he's the same coach as he was back then, which it's been long enough that it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, even, and that's true. And I hate to say, very few coaches have the longevity he has had that they've had good teams. Belichick, like I said, Andy Reid's having, for whatever reason, the Chiefs has the same record as the Steelers.
Right.
They're both 6-6.
Right.
But with the Steelers, maybe because we're not in Kansas City, if we had Patrick Mahomes, you would feel, because he's having a good year, it's like, okay, that one person can get us a game or two. He can sneak a win or two. I don't feel that with this team, with the Steelers. And
that's just it. And that's, I mean,
and even defense, not even offense sneaking a win. But if it was TJ Watt as of, let's say, 3-4 years ago, he could win a game by himself.
Right.
This year, no.
Well, yeah. I mean, the defense was supposed to be the strength of the team, and it's really let them down. And I just think this year was supposed to be just a bridge year. We're just screwing around because in 2026 we're going to get our quarterback of the future, the Messiah, and he will lead us to the promised land, and he will be good right away, and he'll be wonderful, and he'll love me, and we'll all live happily ever after. Okay. I'm looking at a mock draft, and there are 3 or 4 quarterbacks going in the top 10. One of them going at 9. That one, that's Lenore Sellers from South Carolina. So there's a chance. There might be a quarterback available, like in the, like around 9 or 10 or something like that, and the Steelers can trade up.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, there's somewhat hope, but my goodness. Do you want Tomlin, and do you want Tomlin to be the one with this offense who can't do a damn thing? You want him taking care of a young quarterback when he's proven he can't do that? He had Ben already in his prime when he started here. I don't know.
And I mean, everyone's been talking about it, and they even asked Aaron Rodgers, "What about the middle of the field?" He said, "Oh no, I'm not been told not to throw it in the middle of the field." Then why haven't you?
Why aren't you doing it?
I mean, honestly, the time I got excited watching the game were a couple of the throws to Washington down the middle.
Yeah,
because it was a little dump off. It still was. They still. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers, his throwing arm or everything's messed up, because you don't see him throwing well downfield.
Right.
You know,
right.
At least for Russell Wilson last year, you had the chance of the rainbow ball. Admittedly, that's all he could do. He could do dink and he could do rainbow ball.
Yeah.
But I don't even, they're not even trying deep balls. The long plays are, I'm going to throw it 6 yards down, and then we'll have Darnell Washington, carry 4 people an extra 10 yards. Or we'll get someone in a crossing route and they'll be open and they can run after the catch. But, there's not that, okay, it's 3rd down and 10 or 3rd down and 12 because of whatever. But we have a chance because, at times when Ben, even not 2020 Ben, but earlier Ben, it's like, okay, he can somehow get us that extra yard. With this offense, you're like, okay, maybe they can get it to, if we need to get 10 yards, they can get 6 yards down the field and hope we can get the yard after catch. Jalen Warren or Horde or somebody.
Yeah.
Which it was almost stripped on with that hurdle.
Right.
Because you saw the defensive player, he missed. But if he would have hit, that ball's out.
Gotta stop with the hurdle, man. Gotta stop with the hurdle. It's not working, man. You're not hurdling anybody. Stop it.
I would say this. If it was you and one person, hurdle, and then there's not someone there ready to hit you and slam you. But not in a crowd.
Right. Yeah, that's dangerous. It's dangerous on a few levels. And then you have Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to say throwing people under the bus, but he's kind of he's calling out teammates. He was saying something about people aren't showing up to film sessions. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, it's not like team meetings. It's like outside of work. It's like, let's all get together outside of work and look at film or something.
The extra stuff. Extra stuff.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I know they're making millions of dollars, but if my coworker said, let's get together and look over work stuff, I don't know if I'd, there better be some good pizza here, buddy. If I'm hanging out with you after work.
If this was an average workplace, 100% agree. If you have a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback,
right,
and you have a team, and this is not,
and I'm being paid millions of dollars, what, I'm showing up and I'll bring the pizza.
Yeah. And not only that, but like I said, hopefully they can look at the standings and say, you know what? Yes, we are. But again, you look at the playoff spots. Buffalo is in the last spot for playoffs at 8-4.
Right.
If they could have won the game, which wasn't even a close game, but if they, if something would happen differently, all of a sudden Buffalo's 7-5. The Steelers are 7-5.
And we'll be ahead of them, yeah.
They would be ahead of them. They'd be good for because the Colts are also at 8-4.
Yep.
As a wild card.
A good team is going to be left out of the playoffs right now. The Chargers, Colts, and Bills are right now have a playoff spot at 8-4. But there's the Texans who are good. The Chiefs who are good are knocking on the door. So I mean, a good team, and the Ravens right now have the 4th spot with first in the AFC North. So a good team is going to be left out of the playoff. A few good teams are going to be left out. So this is going to get really interesting.
This is similar to a few years ago when the NFC West was horrible. Seattle won the division. I want to say 8-8 or 7-9. And there were teams with like 12 wins that didn't make it because they didn't make the wild card when there were only 6 teams total or something like that. The AFC North, which used to be the strongest division, with now they're, I mean,
eight and 9 might make the playoffs.
8-9 may make the playoffs, and I hate to say it, since he's not out of it.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. Since he is not out of it, they are at 4-8, and they can easily rattle off 5 wins in a row.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is similar to last year Cincinnati. Remember, Cincy was rolling, and then it was like, did they throw the game so they wouldn't have to play Cincinnati? Probably.
Pretty much.
If they get rolling again, like I said, they played the Ravens again, who they just beat in Baltimore.
Right.
And if the Steelers keep sucking like they're sucking, remember, they split against Cincinnati, so they don't have the tiebreaker.
And you know what they're saying in Baltimore? They're almost as down on the team as Steelers fans are on the Steelers. They just got their butt kicked by Cincinnati in Baltimore.
At home, yeah.
Now, here's something that really sucks, and this is not an excuse, but the last game the Bills played before this was a Thursday game against Houston. They had 10 days rest. When did Baltimore play? They played Thanksgiving. They're going to have 10 days rest, and the Steelers are coming in with 7 days rest. That's not fair. That's a pretty big advantage. But
they both came off losses.
Yeah.
Because remember, Buffalo lost to Houston, which I think we were all shocked at. And honestly, I was completely shocked that Baltimore lost to Cincy.
This year is so weird. And when Buffalo lost to Houston, Buffalo looked pathetic. Yeah. And then when the Buffalo plays the Steelers, they look like Super Bowl champions. It's just every game to game, week to week. It's just, you have no idea what's going to happen.
No, I mean, you can't even, like you said, you can't even go on. Well, last week they played this way, so this week they'll probably when the Steelers played the Colts, I thought it was going to be because the Colts were blowing everyone out, and the Steelers went in and smacked them around. Like,
when they were going to play the Colts, they were like, "Oh my God, they're going to run all over the Steelers," and they shut down the number one rusher. Mm-hmm. When they played the Bears had a very strong rushing attack, and the Steelers basically shut that down. And that was a game ago.
Yeah,
and now this game, they run like crazy on them. I don't know. And then you have a very good rusher in Derrick Henry coming up. So.
Who's been having a really bad year for Derrick Henry.
Yep.
And Lamar came back, and it wasn't like, it was like, oh, Lamar's coming back. The Ravens are going to take over everything. It's all over. He hasn't been playing good.
Yeah. He's clearly hurt. Lamar Jackson's clearly hurt.
Yeah, he's back, but he's not back.
Yeah. Oh, boy. It's just funny. It's you just gotta laugh because, I mean, just like all the Tomlin talk today, it's just mm-hmm. laughable. But I mean, now let's just remember, in 2024, he signed a 3-year contract for like almost $50 million.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's
not going anywhere.
I've seen Schefter and Ian Rappaport say they're not going to fire Tomlin. They're not going to fire Tomlin. However, there could come a time when Tomlin says, you know what, I'm done with this. Because Bill Cowher wasn't fired. Bill Cowher just said, I'm out of here. I could easily see Tomlin saying, you know what, I'm going to take some time off, or mm-hmm. I'm going to go in a TV booth. The TV gig is so much easier than being a coach. Do that. Go.
As long as he doesn't go to college and then pick up a girlfriend who's 50 years younger than him. I'm fine with that.
To completely ruin your reputation. Greatest coach of all time, and now he's an absolute joke of a. Bill, what did you do? Bill.
Well, I would say this. Cowher left on his own, but in my mind, kind of on his own. Because if they really wanted him back, they would have, I think, done more. And I think they won the Super Bowl. They had a really bad year after that.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, Bill was like, I won my Super Bowl. I've been coaching for a while. Do I really want to be on the road? Blah, 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 blah. I want to move down to Raleigh. I don't want to be here all the time. And the Steelers were like, you know what? We understand.
And people were so convinced he was going to become coach somewhere else, and he never did. I mean, because you realize the TV gig is so much easier. It's so much easier. When you're a coach, you're working like 20 hours a day. When you're TV, you're working like three a week. I mean, come on, you're making almost the same money. Like, it's so much easier.
And I'll say this: everyone thinking Cowher would be a coach, it still would make sense, because look how many other younger coaches leave a team, and then how many of those coaches go to coach? John Gruden,
Right.
back and forth. Cowher is one of the few coaches who said, and he wasn't in his 60s or 70s. He was a youngish man, even after coaching all those years. He said, I'm done with coaching. No one else has stayed away from coaching. Everyone else came back or, did something. He said, no, I'm done. The fact that you're seeing some of the national media going on about Tomlin, is it time to go and a time to split? I don't know how, the contracts work, and if he leaves, he loses the guaranteed, or if he'll get a fraction of the guaranteed, or, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Yeah.
And honestly, like you said, they've been pushing 2026 for now a couple years as this is it, even though the quarterback class is not looking that great right now.
Yep.
This is not there's 7 starting quarterbacks.
Right.
There are not. But it's like going into that, I could see Tomlin saying, okay, the idea, like we said, if the running back they drafted would have been promising, that was a complete whiff. But again, it looked like a good pick. It wasn't one of those picks that you see teams do, like, okay, you got the number 8 pick overall. Why did you take a guard?
Right.
Not saying guards aren't important, but again, when you're that high up, it's like, okay, the pick makes sense where they got him.
At the time, people were like, oh my God, what a great pick.
And you know what? That's all you can do as a team, and say, okay, here's who we have, and here's our spots, and here's who we're filling in. And it looked good. And some are going to work out, some aren't. And he could still work out. It's just because you have a bad rookie year doesn't mean it's
right.
The way they were setting everything up was, okay, we have the offensive line was doing better. It was it wasn't a bad offensive line they had this year. So that was going in. If they would have had the running backs, and of course, maybe a wide receiver or a couple or somebody, or the fact of maybe the quarterbacks throwing to people who are open, who you're hearing when you see people who have access to the all 22 saying, yeah, there were receivers open.
Yeah.
They just didn't throw to the open receiver for whatever reason.
Right.
So I think they were trying to get a setup where it's like, okay, the defense is solid. We have a young quarterback come in. Maybe the idea was Mason was good enough for the beginning of next year, and then they have the young quarterback come in everything else was in shape, and now it looks like everything's falling apart.
Yeah.
And I can see Tomlin not wanting to leave because everything looked like it was trying to be set up. But
I wonder if Tomlin did leave, if others would follow. Like if Cam Hayward would say, you know what, I'm going to retire.
oh yeah,
Or if TJ Watt said, I don't want to play for anybody else, or some crap like that.
I can see Cam retiring. I could see,
yeah, definitely.
not knowing
I think
anything
he's
about
going
him,
to
but
retire anyway. Yeah.
that's it. Cam's getting he like I said, his new contract, which when you see the details, it was heavily bonus. So he
Right.
didn't get a lot more.
If we
money.
win the
He
Super Bowl, you'll get money.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, literally, it was, if you have a year like you did last year, we're going to get a lot of money. But if you had a year like the year before, you're not going to get a lot of money.
Yeah.
But, Cam is, for a defensive lineman, up there in age. Joints wear out when you're
he's
that
way
large.
he's even past up there in age.
Oh yeah, I'm saying he's still playing above what he should be playing.
It's amazing what he's doing for someone his age.
But he's still playing above.
Yeah.
But when you're that large and you hit people again and again and again, the joints wear out. And all of a sudden, a lot of times it's the body's like, okay, I've had enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
mean, you don't know when that's going to happen.
And the training you need to do to get into, to still play at that level, and then all the beating and all the, he's sore as hell right now. Every football player is sore as hell right now. It's like, do you really want to go through that? You've made enough money, man. Like, what are you doing? Like,
honestly, I could see Cam was staying on for the same reason Marquise Pouncey was. They were looking for that ring.
Right.
That would be their career, which I understand. Yeah. And I could see Cam right now, because Marquise probably looked after the loss to Cleveland in the playoffs, was like, yeah, this isn't the team.
Yeah.
We thought we were maybe had a chance that we're not one step. And I'm just going to, I could see Cam saying, we're not going to be there for a couple years. It's time to retire. Of course, Cam also has to understand the minute he retires, Connor's probably also gone.
Oh, no.
Well, I'm just saying.
No.
But I'm saying.
But the commercials.
For his brother, though. I mean, honestly, I could see Cam as doing something for family. He seems like someone who would do something for family.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean,
it reminds me of the Derek Watt era where we had to put up with him. He's basically, Derek Watt was Connor Hayward 1.0.
Yeah. But like I said, I agree with you. If Tomlin leaves, I don't see TJ, because he would have to retire because of his contract.
Right.
Cam, I could see retiring. Some of the older players who they brought on. But honestly, I would love to see a fresh start. Something new.
Coaching staff, a different approach,
yeah,
just someone modern.
No, I don't think Omar Khan has done bad.
What?
In terms of being the GM role, I don't think he should be fired.
No, you're right. I think
because his drafts have not been bad.
Yeah.
Free agency, I will question, but I don't know how much is that Tomlin saying, I want this guy and I want someone like this and they need someone like this.
That was another thing. I saw somebody, one of the national people say, it's not Tomlin's fault the players are bad. Oh, like Tomlin has nothing to do with picking the players.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with the draft or off season or free agency or something like that. Come on.
Same thing with the assistant coaches. Same thing with the quarterback coaches. Same thing with all the way down.
Right.
When you have back-to-back collapses like this, because last year was a collapse, and unless something completely unexpected happens, it's going to be another collapse. you got to think it. Even if, like I said, if you like the coach, you're like, you know what? But you're like, but will Rooney? Is Rooney the owner that you need to pull the trigger?
Would he make the call? This is going to be very interesting because the Steelers schedule is next week at Ravens, then home to the Dolphins, then at the Lions, at the Browns, and then home to the Ravens. Let's say they're 6-6 right now. Let's say they end up going 6-11. I think there's a good chance you cannot. I think you have to do something at that point. You can't have 2 collapses in a row and 2 years, almost the exact same collapse every single year. You can't do that. So I don't want to say he's playing for he's coaching for his job right now, but I don't know. I he's not going to be fired, but if he's told, hey, we're not going to renew your contract, this is it, your last year coaching is 2027, then he's probably going to say, well, screw you. If you don't have any confidence in me, then I'll just go. And then
if they come to him and say, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator,
and you don't have a damn thing to do with it. Down. Because right now Tomlin is basically the defensive coordinator. They could tell him that because they did that with Chuck Noll. True. Yeah. They did that with Chuck Noll. Chuck Noll was bad in the mid 80s, and they said you could stay, but you have nothing to say about the offensive or defensive coordinator. And you can't coach it. They could do something like that. They could basically say you're just a figurehead and you are not actually a coach. And you can't interfere. I could see that.
And if they do that, will we say, "Oh, I'm gone"? Then
right. And then they could trade him for 3 number 1 draft picks, and we'll all live happily ever after.
Let's trade him to Cleveland.
That would be so funny. That would. I mean, he would have to do something horrible. He would have to use Hunt's ketchup or something like that to get a punishment like that.
He goes from TJ Watt to Myles Garrett.
Hey, Myles Garrett is supposedly better, so there you go. Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be interesting, but hey. A week from now, we could say, "Oh my God, we beat the Ravens! Look at how good we look!" Like you never know. Yeah. I mean, you just got to think that when you're so thoroughly embarrassed. I mean, I think I saw, what was it, Sawyer? They asked him. They asked him about the Fire Tomlin. Because that's BS. Like, really, bro? They even asked Tomlin about it. He's like, "Yeah, I get it. I get why they would." Say that.
He's also a rookie. Sawyer's
right?
Also a rookie.
He's a baby.
So not only that, but even if you let's say take football out of it, you just started a job,
right,
and your boss, you even may know your boss is not having a good
everybody loves your boss and says wonderful things.
No. What are you talking about? No.
Yeah.
He's not stupid.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is though, I watched on TikTok, you have people kind of reviewing the games and doing something like that. And there's one guy who is a Steelers fan. And it was his skit was someone was lost at sea for 7 months, and now he has to describe what happened during the football season. He's like, "Oh, you mean Kansas City? Yeah, Mahomes is playing great, but they're out of the playoffs. Philadelphia's not playing that good. Daniel Jones is playing good.
Right.
The Patriots are running away with the AFC East." It was like, and he said, "Well, what about your Steelers? Let me guess. They had a promising start with wins, but weren't convincing, and then they fell off." He said, "You were at sea for 7 months. How do you know that?" Really? You have to ask me?
Exactly.
Like, okay,
exactly.
Yeah,
this is almost exactly what we predicted. So there you go. So, but we'll see. We'll see what they're made of. We'll see if they have because other teams, previous years, they have had problems.
Yeah,
and they've overcome them. So we'll see. You're at a crossroads right now. Let's see where you go.
To paraphrase Mick Foley, you have to see if you have the testicular fortitude to go forward.
Bang bang. That was one of my favorite books ever. Did you ever read his book?
Oh yeah.
Have a Nice Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fascinating. I mean, that is a fascinating person. How he's alive, I have no idea.
How is he alive? And he seems to be mentally, kind of with it.
He's the example of, back when they were arguing about cigarettes, and the people that were in support of them would say, you know what, there's this lady, she's 90 years old, she smokes a pack a day every day, and she's healthy as a horse. That's Mick Foley. He is the total outlier. He should be dead or brain beyond mush with everything he's done.
The rest of his body
he's just,
well, say the rest of his body is, though, his knees, the rest of him, his ability to walk around.
He could be the Terminator right now. I think he's had his hips replaced, knees replaced, everything you can replace. I mean, understandably, but he just went through so much. And then there are other people that copied him, that tried to follow him, and you can't, because it's a human being. The human being is not supposed to take that kind of punishment.
I will say this, that what made, and we're kind of getting the wrestling, but what made Mick special, partially it was the, barbed wire flay. It was the mental part. The fact he could do a promo.
He was so good at promos.
The fact that he wrote his book. That was not a ghost-written book.
Right.
That was him writing it on paper backstage as he's traveling with wrestling. He's writing out his life story on this.
Because WWE was putting out books like crazy at the time, and it was always some ghost writer who did it for the wrestler, and it sucked. And Mick Foley's like, no, I'm doing this.
Well, they did give him a ghost writer. They gave him a ghost writer. He saw the first little bit, and he said, "No, this isn't me.
This sucks.
Let me write this."
Yeah. His promos were amazing, and he was such an underdog. And I remember during the Monday Night War, that was one of the biggest the biggest dates is when he won the WWF title, and WCW said, "Oh, by the way, some guy that used to work here, Mick Foley, he's about to win the world title over at that other channel," and everybody switched there because they wanted to. Let's see. Mr. Steeler fan says, I hate to say it, but I hope Mr. Rooney has someone he likes at the head coach position. Fire Tomlin at the end of the season. I think a trade would be a professional send-off. That's the thing. You need a professional send-off. You need, it has to be handled. Like it's like Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport said. You're never going to see a thing that says the Steelers have parted ways with Mike Tomlin. The Steelers have fired Tomlin. No. It's going to be, if anything, Tomlin's going to say, I've decided to take a year off, or I've decided to whatever. He's going to do this so he saves face, because I mean, he is a legend in football and a legend with the Steelers. So, I don't know about this. I don't know if I want a Shula. I don't even know what Chris Shula does. Oh, he's the mastermind behind the Rams defense this year. That's the thing. It's like, well, who are you going to find that's better? Like, I don't know. There's somebody out there. There has to be someone out there. Too bad James Franklin got a job. Let's see James Franklin be the coach of the Steelers.
Sure, we'll beat the easy teams and then take in the big games.
Let's just hope we don't play Ohio State. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Who was Mike Tomlin before he came to the Steelers? He was just some assistant coach. He wasn't. I don't even think he was a defensive coordinator. I think it was like a secondary coach.
He was a defensive backs coach, and then 1 year as an assistant coach, but not a defensive coordinator.
What was he? 37 years old.
He was young.
He was a baby. So and
he's not that old now.
you know they're going to do that. They would have some young assistant coach, because that's what they did with Knoll. That's what they did with Cower. That's what they did. That's their thing. That's our thing. It's like, we have 3 coaches in the last 55 years. So whoever they get, they're going to hope to get another 20 years out of them.
Well, even if they don't, I would say this, even if they don't, I would want a younger coach with new ideas.
Exactly.
You don't want to have, someone from the NFL who got fired last year, and they've been coaching in the NFL with 5 different teams over 15 years. But you think they can catch on and do good? No, I don't. I want someone new, fresh, something different.
I just want, because because what I hear is that just everything about Tomlin is antiquated philosophies. He never goes for it on 4th down. The defense is antiquated and predictable. Everything is the offense does not take any chances, middle of the field thing. It's like he's ultra conservative, predictable, and let's just get somebody that's modern. That's what I want. Just modern.
Yeah, because right now Tomlin's 53.
Still young.
He's still young, yeah. Born March of 72.
And he says Shula's 39. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. Hey, why not? Hey, you know what? Not all the Shulas were good coaches, but I know one of them was a really good coach. So why not? Is Don Shula still alive?
Honestly, I think the Steelers fan base have been so focused on quarterbacks in the draft next year.
Mm-hmm.
No one's even thought about, okay, so, Arthur Smith's D offense has been not great. Whether it's him, whether it's the quarterbacks, it's little dinky dunky, but
why not? Arch Manning, let's go. Let's go.
You know what?
27 draft. That's probably the smart move for Manning is to stay another year.
He's not coming out this year. No.
Although
he's not coming out.
Although
especially with the NIL money.
I don't know if it's a joke or not, but I did see that Eli Manning might become the coach of Ole Miss. And if Eli Manning becomes a coach of Ole Miss, then his he's going to want his nephew to be the quarterback. So, let's that just makes sense. You don't wait.
You know what though? If they don't draft a quarterback next year, if they come out and say with the number 1 draft pick,
I swear, if it's Joe Flacco or Winston or something like that, we're gonna riot.
But if they come out and say, I don't. Let's say Broderick Jones is injured. They're not sure he's coming back next because it's a neck injury.
Never know. Yeah.
He say we're going to get a left tackle with our number 1 pick next year. Or like a pat. Yeah, if we take a wide receiver with a number 1 pick next year, let's say it's number 14, they better have security.
Right.
On the north side.
Right.
Because the Steeler fans will riot.
We will riot. We will all these pretty little improvements you've made to downtown. We're just going to tear it all down. Market Square. Bye. Bike lanes gone. Bye. No more bike lanes. I don't want that crap. No, yeah, you're right. They've set everything up to draft the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? But hey, you know what? If we collapse and go 6-11, we could get that quarterback. So yay!
Well, earlier in the year, I would say not possible because of Miami, but Miami's 5-7. They're only a game worse than us.
You never know. There's plenty of football to be played. So
there's only 2 teams in the AFC who are eliminated: Tennessee and the Raiders.
even Cleveland is still in it.
Even Cleveland Browns at 3-9, as the one guy goes on TikTok, and we're the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy. You okay? Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is, moving up for a quarterback. They kind of have to move up for a quarterback because they have all those, supposedly all those extra picks. I don't know if that's actually going to happen now. In one point
they still got at least fourth round. So if they put a couple fourth rounds, a couple third rounders, they can move up that way and maybe give up a pick next.
Realistically, if they're going to move up, they're going to have to trade a 2027 first.
Yeah,
they would have to. That's basically what you would need to move up in the draft to get a quarterback. So we will see. It's at a crossroads, and we'll see what happens. We'll see, as you said, if they have the testicular fortitude. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. I don't know, because as we've said, these are not. Aaron Rodgers just showed up this year. Jalen Ramsey just showed up this year. Jonnu Smith. All these people just showed up this year. Are you real Steelers? Do you really have what it takes? We'll see. All right. Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Mr. Steeler fan. Thank you for your comments. And we'll see. See you guys.
Have a good